Hey y'all, so it's Maddie. My hair looks great until I sit down to film a video. It's just how it works, huh? So what's up, guys? I am going to be moving out of my dorm shortly, so we will no longer have this like so aesthetically pleasing background. I know you're all gonna be heartbroken. But I have this story time that I really wanted to film, and it's one that I wasn't sure if I was going to film there. A few that are kind of iffy, but I just decided to film this one. So we're just going to jump in. My senior year, I was in a CNA program, a certified nursing assistant, and I did regular high school half the day, and then I went to CNA school the other half of the day. So pretty chill. I enjoyed it. I have my CNA license now. Whatever, it's great. I actually don't work as a CNA because I'm a full-time college student, but I have it just in case, because CNAs make more than, you know, just an average job, so it's something to fall back on. And I always knew that I was not going to be a CNA like as a career. They just don't make a lot of money, and it's a very physically taxing job. So I just have it as a backup plan. It's something I'd like to keep. Oh my god, my hair's gonna drive me insane. And it's something, you know, that looks good when you apply to. I'm just gonna fix my hair. Okay, that looks better. It's something that looks good when you go to apply for daycares or being a nanny or all that. I'm CPR certified, so it's very useful, and it's something that if, God forbid, something really bad did happen, I could do that. So there was this girl okay, first of all, I want to say it was not just my school that went to this other school. It was in the next town over, and it was a bunch of girls and from surrounding schools in the area. And I went to a school that was very, I don't think preppy is the right word. I'm just going to say there was a lot of privileged kids there. I'm not going to lie. And I would say privilege, I feel like it's such a bad connotation. I would say that I have been privileged, I've been blessed, and I have never had to go without. And some of the schools in the area were not as blessed or as privileged, if that makes sense. So I went to school with some girls. Like, there was one girl who was 17 and had her second child. There were some girls that had babies their freshman year, and no judgment here. I'm just saying, like, it was a lot different from my high school, because if you got pregnant at my high school, as soon as you started showing, you were put into online classes because they didn't want you being around, which is, yeah. So just very different than my school. There was only 3 of us that went from my school to this school, and I did not have class with any of them. So I was thrown in with some random people, whatever. And there's this girl, and we're going to call her Alyssa. Why not? We're going to call her Alyssa. And Alyssa came, you know, I don't really even know her backstory. Let's just put it at that. I feel like my hair just looks so bad in the front right there, like that piece. Anyway, this girl named Alyssa had been brought up differently than I had when it came to, this piece of hair is completely straight. Oh my god. Y'all, this is why I never do my hair, because it drives me insane. So she had been brought up very differently than I had in what is appropriate to say and how it is appropriate to act. So she was also a little bit immature. She was a junior, I believe, but still she was just like, so I would be in the changing room, and like she would be insulting people. Like, she thought that was fun. Like, I'm gonna insult you, like, okay. And she kept, like, she would say that she looked like a chipmunk, and like she thought it was funny. She thought it was good fun. I didn't really care, and some of the other people seemed kind of annoyed, but like it wasn't, because she was pointing out like the worst thing about you that she could see. Like, I don't understand why she did it. I don't know, but I didn't concern myself with it so first of all, before we get into this, I do have quite a large nose. I have a ridge on it right here, and some people think that I've broken it. I get that question a lot when I meet new people, like, oh, hey, did you break your nose when you were a kid? And now it doesn't really bother me. I love myself. I have a boyfriend that loves me, and this is actually the Elmore nose. So my mom's side, my mom has it. Like, a lot of people on her side of the family have it, and it's just, I've accepted it. It's a nose. Like, if you go out and look at noses, everyone's nose looks weird. Like, it's not a common, no one's nose really is the same shape. So I just, like, really, I don't care. I've been called bird face. Like, I don't know why kids picked on my nose so bad. Like, I really don't even think it's that big. Like, I've met girls with way bigger noses, and still that's not a reason to make fun of someone. So I'm in this class, and one day this girl turns to me and says that I have a Holocaust nose. And the reason that this upset me so badly was that I have read a lot of books on the Holocaust. I've really, like, that's another story, how I got so involved with it, but really, like, immersed myself in that, and it is something so awful, and I don't think that that is ever something to joke about. Ever. And I don't even know what that means. Like, my nose looks Jewish? Like, what? Fine. Like, I understand normally people consider, like, having a bigger nose with being Jewish. Like, apparently, I don't know. My roommate Stevie is actually half Jewish, if you guys didn't know. But I was like, what does that even mean? Like, why are you bringing the Holocaust into this? I was so confused, and so I just decided to let it go. Well, she continues to do it. And I was just like, I don't really understand if you're trying to insult me or offend me or why that's funny to you. Like, I, to this day, do not understand what she meant. Like, I understand she was calling my nose big, but to throw, like, Holocaust survivor, and they're like, that's not funny, and it's not, like, have you seen pictures of the Holocaust? Like, those people were grossly thin because they were literally being starved. I don't look grossly thin. Like, you're just saying my nose looks Jewish, but you could say that in a different way. Like, if you want to say my nose is big, just say my nose is big. Like, I don't understand. And so this girl, I was like, okay, whatever. Like, Alyssa, do your thing. Like, in my head, I was just like, whatever. So finally one day, I told my parents, like, she continued to do it. And I was like, I don't know if I should be offended or if I should, like, what to do here, because she's not directly insulting me, even though she's trying to, and it's just really weird. Like, who says that to someone? What does this mean? And my parents were like, I don't know. So one day we're sitting there in class. My dad was like, that's definitely just an offensive thing to say. So we're sitting there in class, and this day I had just had enough. My car wasn't driving right. I was just over it. And I'm in this class, and we were split into groups, and we had work to do, and Alyssa was put in my group, and it was like a group of 5 or 6 people. And me, being an adult, was like, I'm just going to ignore her, like, we're just going to do our work. So I'm sitting there, and I don't even remember what we had to do. I ended up not doing it. wait for it. So I'm like, oh, okay, so, like, how do we want to start this? Like, trying to just, like, move on and have a better day. And this bitch, yes, I'm going to call her a bitch. She goes, I don't know, Holocaust nose. In front of everyone. And I just look at her and I say, don't say that to me. We have work to do. Don't. I was like, I just remember I was stern with her because, like, I was just like, don't say that. We have stuff to do. Just stop. Because I didn't need her, like, and then everyone was like, who knows, like, they thought it was funny as fuck. Like, I don't understand even what that means. Like, yes, I have a big nose, I also have a big butt, I have, like, a small upper lip. Like, I don't know what, it happens. It's called genetics, and we're human. I don't have time to sit there and hate myself, sorry. So all these people start laughing, and she goes, don't tell me what I can and can't say. Just trying to do this group work. She goes, don't tell me what I can't say, Holocaust survivor. So at this point, I just get up and I walk over to the teacher, and I'm like, she's saying I have a Holocaust nose and I don't want to be in a group with her. So this day at school, which I really just wanted to punch her in the face, but I was 18 and she was 17, and I did not want to deal with that. And violence should not be the answer, but I really wanted to punch her in the face. Not gonna lie, like, she was just being a snarky cunt. So this day, they had a bunch of people that were super important to this program, that were like providing funding and equipment and like all this stuff, which I'm very thankful they did. But this is where it just gets like stupid. So the teacher says both of you go out in the hallway. So I go. And I'm like, okay, like they're going to take her away and they're going to let me go back to class, because I literally asked her not to call me Holocaust survivor and she got mad. Like, what? The teacher gets the principal and the principal goes, I don't have time to deal with children. I'm here to talk with adults. And I want to say that when the group thing happened, okay, I didn't just go off on her the first time she said it. She said it more than once and everyone was laughing, which I don't really mind, but I just want to get this work done. Like, if you want to sit in the corner and talk about me, I don't care. Like, that says more about you than it does about me. Like, that's happened my whole high school career. Like, go ahead, go off. But can we please finish this work? Like, you can sit at this table and talk about me if you want when we're done. Like, I don't care. But don't do it to make me angry. And don't do it to interrupt our work. Like, I'm here to get a certificate. Like, that's another thing. Like, I understand that most people talk about other people, and that's just something I've come to terms with. And if you want to talk about someone when they can hear you, that's on you. So, the principal, like, sits there and is like, I don't have time to deal with you guys, like, children. And I was like, she goes, you're acting like children. Like, just completely degrades us in the hallway. And I was like, then they go put us in 2 separate empty rooms. And I'm put in this room. And I'm like, okay, like, they're going to come talk to me, ask my side. I'll get to go back to class. Like, it won't be a big deal. I haven't done anything wrong. I didn't cuss at her. I just asked her not to say that so we could do our work. Like, I don't understand what the problem is, what I did wrong. And I also want to say that we had to put our phones in the lockers there. We couldn't have them on us. But after this, I kept my phone on me because I was ready to go. Just wait. The story gets so crazy. I sat in this room for 2 hours. Mind you, I was only at that school for 3. 2/3 of my time when I was supposed to be learning was taken from me because she insulted me. So I'm sitting in this room and I just get so pissed. They haven't brought me my stuff. They haven't brought me anything to do. I'm literally sitting in a room with a clock and a seat. And like, what? So I go up to the front desk and I'm like, I want my stuff. I want to go back to class. I'm done. Like, I'm over this. And I was polite. I was like, hi, like, I'm in this room, but like, I'd like my stuff, or I'd like to go back to class. And they were like, go back to the room. So I was like, okay, maybe they're going to bring me my stuff. I go back. Mind you, at that point, it had been like 45 minutes. I was like, this is kind of ridiculous. So then I go back to the front desk, and I was like, I want to go to my locker. Like, I want my phone. I want my car keys. I'm 18. Like, I want to leave. Well, no, at first I went up and I was like, hey, I'd really like to call my mom. I feel like I'm being treated unfairly. No one's been listening to my side of the story. I understand, but I would at least like my things, and to not be put in a classroom alone with nothing to do. I feel like that's unfair. And they were like, go sit down. And then like the principal ends up walking through and the front desk lady's like, she's asking to call her mom, and laughs. So then I went out there a 3rd time when it had been like an hour and 45 minutes, and I was like, I'm done. The school day's almost over. I want to get my stuff and I want to leave. Like, you cannot do this. You can't deny me a phone call to my parent. You can't, I mean, I don't even know what the laws are, but that just like, I was treated so unfairly. So then there's like 15 minutes left in the school day. The principal calls us in and is like, so what's the problem, children? And I am like so pissed at this point. I am just sitting there. And oh, I said her real name. So Alyssa was like, I said she had a Holocaust nose, but it was a joke. Like, I don't even know her, and like, I don't know why she got so mad, and like, she insulted me and all this stuff. And then I was like, no. And I told my side of the story, and the principal was like, well, Alyssa, you can't say stuff like that, but Madeline, she's just been raised differently than you, and like, she didn't know that was offensive. There are certain things that everyone knows it's not funny to joke about. Slavery, the Holocaust, like, you know, pretty basic things that you just don't make jokes about. Like, what? So I was like, And then I was like, I didn't appreciate being put in a classroom for 2 hours out of my day here, and I don't understand why I was. And she was like, because I didn't have time to deal with you. So then we're made to go apologize to the teacher for disrupting class. And she's like, I'm sorry, Madeline. The teacher was like, but as soon as you did what you did, the attention was no longer on me. It was on you, and I knew I couldn't sit you in the class anymore. No, you actually decided to be a functioning teacher and say, okay, we're done with that. She's in the office, whatever her thing is, and let me sit there. I was not disruptive. I walked up, and she was out in the hallway. Okay, so then I'm just basically told that I was being too sensitive and it's not offensive and I need to understand that people are raised differently than others, which I am fully aware of, let me say. But like I said, there's just certain things you don't joke about. So my dad was actually coming to look at my car. So I walk outside and he's there and I am just so angry. I just start crying. I'm an angry crier. I just start crying to my dad. And I told him what happened. And he's like, oh, hell no. So he goes up to the school and talks to the principal. And she's just like, well, Madeline was being sensitive. Like, she said she had a Holocaust nose. Like, I don't even know what that means. I don't know why she got offended. Like, you know, she was referencing she had a big nose, she said. But, like, I don't understand. Like, just being stupid. And really down talking to me and my dad, being like, Madeline's a child. And then my dad's like, she's 18. Like, she's about to graduate and, like, go live on her own. Like, what? And she's just like, well, she was disruptive in class. This woman did not know who my dad is. And for those of you who don't, he was a high school teacher. And he also has his PhD. He's not stupid. And he knows how to function in a classroom. And my dad's like, well, why didn't you just let Madeline stay in class and then deal with the other student? Why was Madeline punished? And she was like, well, it wasn't a punishment. My dad was like, well, something mean none to the other girl. And the principal's like, no, because she was raised differently. And my dad was like, my dad ends up pulling out that he was a teacher and that's not how a classroom should be run. It's Madeline from the future. So I also want to say that my dad is very passionate about teaching. It's where his heart is. And he actually just wrote, did he get his book published, Elizabeth? 20 tips you can implement into your classroom today. Yeah, it's about to be published. So I'll link it as soon as it is. Is that what the title is? 20?
He's changing it. It's like either going to be flip or something.
Okay, he's like going to be rewording it. But he's very passionate about teaching and having a controlled, like, safe, happy, healthy learning environment for everyone. So he was like angry. and then she's still down talking to him and he goes, I have my PhD and I would love to write to the Waco Tribune about what is said here and what you let slide and how both students were punished. He was like, why was Madeline not let to go back to class? Why did you speak to her the way you did? Like, none of this is okay. Because how she handled it really wasn't. I didn't necessarily need an apology, but making me apologize to the teacher, keeping me in a room for 2 hours, like, all of that, a little excessive. And then for both of us to be treated the same. No. This story still gets me a little fired up, just because I was treated so unfairly. And that girl, like, wasn't made to apologize to me, didn't have any consequence that I know of. And my dad, and then the principal, like, when he was like, I'd love to write to the newspaper of our town and just, like, let them know what's said here and what you allow and how you treat students that are bullied, and just, like, went off on her, because this had been going on all school years. So she was like, and it was funny because she actually came into my job. I worked at Maurice's, the chain clothing store, and bought pants, and she was so nice to me. So this whole story was just very annoying. I don't think I really learned anything from it, except for sometimes adults that are in charge of you are absolute pricks. I mean, honestly. And that sometimes things are really unfair. But yeah, that, not a fun day. Not a day I'd like to relive. Just gets me a little angry. And I think the thing that makes me most upset is just how I was treated by the adults that were in charge of me, and that I wasn't allowed to, like, call my mom and tell her how I was being treated, or I wasn't allowed to leave, or I wasn't allowed to get my stuff, and that was just so aggravating. But I survived. I'm here, and that school, like over it. That principal, I was nice to her the rest of the year because I had to be, and then like if I saw her now though, I'd be like, no, don't talk to me. Like I can be a B word. So yeah, that's So that was a fun, fresh story. You guys let me know if you were ever treated unfairly in school. And hey, so I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I hope you found it interesting, maybe a little entertaining. High school was not my favorite, but make sure if you guys did enjoy this video to give it a thumbs up so I can be sure to know that you enjoyed it. Also be sure to subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Not all of them are story times. I have some other things on my channel. If you click on my picture, you can check them out. I have vlogs of my dog, my boyfriend and I doing challenges. It's a good time, pretty funny. And I have an Instagram just where I interact with you guys. It's That Girl Mads on YouTube. If you want to go follow me on there, I'd love to follow you back. You know, we can stalk each other a little bit. Super fun. So, yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.